Welcome back to Football Game Plan, small college football kickoff show powered by Next Level Sports. Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Leadership comes in any type of form, shape, or size. And when you look at Southern Connecticut State's defensive back, Delgado-McIntyre at 5'7", 170, despite his small stature and frame, he packs a big punch out there on the field and brings with him a ton of leadership. And we're now joined here with Delgado-McIntyre, defensive back from Southern Connecticut State. I appreciate you taking time.
I appreciate you. Thank you for welcoming me.
Listen, man, first of all, if we had a billboard or a slogan, I know our slogan here at Football Game Plan is where football makes sense, but our 1B slogan would be size is not a skill, because we feel as though if you're good enough, you're big enough. And you're definitely big enough because you've played some great football out there at Southern Connecticut State. Can you quickly dispel any of these myths that people will throw at you as this process rolls along about your size and stature?
Yeah. So I already know I'm going to hear you're too small, not fast enough, which I feel like on the field, I feel like I'm the fastest person on the field. I'm running past guys. But it's things I always live with, and it's things I already heard. It's not anything new. And it's things that I also proved wrong my whole life. So getting into college, I had to deal with the same thing. I didn't have any scouts like everybody else. Like, you're too small, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough. So through my play, I just wanted to show, and I feel like on film it shows that I'm 6'2" at heart. And whoever I'm going against, they're 5'7", and they're going to feel me. So I already heard it all. I'm not worried about it.
Exactly. Been there, done that, bought a t-shirt, done heard it all. And what's funny is that, another thing that you're going to hear is about level of competition, which is why I'm glad you guys had the opportunity this year to knock off Central Connecticut State. Can you take me through what that upset was for you guys out there, knocking off a Division I team? So that, and you're playing against a Division I opponent. So now that's another myth that can be thrown by the wayside.
Yeah. So going into that Central game, we actually heard a lot of adversity, a lot of doubts, a lot of, obviously we're neighboring schools, so a lot of back and forth chatter. We work out with some of the guys, and I would never downplay. They're talented. They have a lot of talent between Tyshawn James, Dexter. They're a talented squad. So me being me, I'm competitive, and I see that, and I want to win, and my team too. So going through practice all the way up into that week, we just had an eye for it. Like, we seen red, and when we got to the game, obviously there's a little jitters, just like how college goes to the pros. You're gonna have a little butterflies. So they came out hot, actually. We were stopping them for a little, but it's the first game, a lot of fatigue. And then I feel like the changing moment was they threw a screen pass, and I came down and I laid whoever out in the flat and forced a fumble. And I feel like that's when my team really knew, like, we're here. And there's no reason to fear anybody. We're all the same type of breed. And if they're good competitors, which they are, and they have a lot of talent, we are too. We worked all this time to fold? No. So that game was the craziest game I ever been a part of in my life, in terms of the fan, the atmosphere, the competition. I love that game.
That's what makes college football so much fun, man, because you get those regional rivalries, those local rivalries, and they definitely mean something, and it tends to bring out the crowd and the atmosphere. When you look at your game, and I always preface by saying, when I introduce you as defensive back,
Yes,
because sir. I don't want to pigeonhole you into playing one position, because you can play both. You can play nickel, play safety. Because we're so positionless now in this game of football, which one do you feel as though you're better suited to play, or is playing both kind of the way you want to go? And if so, there's a 3-part question. And if so, who's the prototype? Who's the example that you say, look, he's doing it, I can be that type of guy for your team?
Yeah. Then that, like you said, it's a loaded question. So first off, I'll say I'll play anything. If you put me at linebacker, I'm playing linebacker. I know that's not possible right now, but I'm playing whatever helps the team win. In terms of where I would like to play, I would like to play safety right now, because that's where I made the adjustment this year. This was actually my first year playing safety. Mm-hmm. And I feel like safety allowed me to use all my tools. It allowed me to see the field, play smart. I feel like I'm a smart player. and just be the QB of the defense too. So, but I love corner because corner brings the competition aspect of it, and corner brings that dog out of you. So I'll play either or. I'll play both. I'd rather play both, but preferably I like safety, mainly because I feel like I'm a top down player. So coming down and making a hit makes a lot of boom for me. So I would say safety. And the player I would emulate, I see myself a lot in Buda Baker, really, at safety. Avonte Maddox is another person I watch. But growing up, I idolized Brian Dawkins, which a lot of people don't say. But Brian Dawkins brought that fearlessness, that dog. I think there's a play on my highlight, and it just reminded me of him so much because I ran from one side of the field all the way to the other, and I just jumped like a grizzly. So, but Buda Baker and Brian Dawkins is who I would love to emulate myself after. And yeah.
That's how, I mean, you're picking good players, and you got the right formula for how the position is played nowadays. So definitely, I can see you trekking toward that direction. When you think about, going from when you came in at as a high schooler to where you are now, and hearing those doubts, now you have to go and play in an all-star game. You're going to be at the FCS bowl game, which is down in Daytona Beach. What's some of the things that you want to go out there and accomplish in front of these scouts and personnel decision makers?
I want to show them that I am who they brought there. So obviously they do scouting, and obviously they seek talent. I'm that. That's what I want to prove is I'm there, and whoever your top dog is, I feel like I can be there too, and I am there. So, but my goal is really just to compete amongst the talent. Obviously there's better talent out there, and just to prove that I'm worthy to be there. So my goal is just to make a name for myself. I don't feel like I have a name right now outside of my world, and I just want the world to know my name. So I think this is a stepping point.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because no one really talks about Southern Connecticut State in terms of Division II football. They either bypass you guys and go to New Haven, or they drop down and go to Central Connecticut State when they're talking Connecticut football, UConn, or Sacred Heart. They never talk about you guys. But how special is that program in your opinion?
I feel like Southern's a building program, and I love Southern for myself because Southern, outside of football, is life. We're not handed the best hand. We don't get the scholarships that everybody else gets. We're in the middle of the state, and we don't get the respect. And that's life. It is what it is. You're not always dealt the best hand. You're not always handed a silver spoon and say, here you go. You got to go get it. So for a personality like myself, I feel like Southern is a good spot for a blue-collar person, someone who's willing to work and not willing to take no for an answer. So I feel like Southern's building. Obviously, we still have a lot to work on. We didn't have the season that we wanted to, but it brings that dog out of you. It brings a dog mentality. So that's Southern.
At least you beat Central, so at least you got that on the way out.
Yeah.
You'll never lose to Central again. Put it that way, because you're done playing. So you got that win on the way out. Quadir, listen, man, it's been fun getting to know you for a little bit. Excited to see what the future holds for you, and I know you're going to bring that same energy to the All-Star game that you brought throughout your career at Southern Connecticut State. So thank you again for taking time, and we wish you the best moving forward.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me again. Thank you for the opportunity and the platform. I appreciate it.